Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. It's TEDA Time.
Living in Terrebonne, living in Terrebonne. You sure won't want to miss it, and I'll bet that you'll revisit living in Terrebonne.
Local Terrebonne Parish Economic News. All right, we are here, and it is TEDA time. And Mr. Cohen Guidry, always here, the Executive Director of TEDA. He's right here on the desk. Good to see you, Cohen, as always.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me back.
Anytime. Yeah, you're always welcome. And Miss Melissa DeRocha, how are you?
I'm well.
There you go. I like it when you say I'm well. That's a good thing. Director of Development and Marketing for Explore Houma. And Cohen, you know, me and you talk a lot, partnerships. We talk about partnerships a lot. And y'all been doing a lot of that in the community. How important is that to do that?
I think it's the mainstay for our business. I think that the last 2 years, or nearly 2 years that I've been with TEDA, we're trying to change the focus on what we do because it all is partnerships. We don't do anything by ourselves. We're not an endless source of free money and things like that, but we form partnerships with different groups and help them along the way. We connect the dots. We help them go after different programs, different projects. We work closely with Explore Houma. And Melissa and I have partnerships and Leadership Terrebonne, Explore Houma, TEDA. I mean, it's so well-rounded as everything just comes around full circle, and we all work together.
Yeah, and it's two great organizations who get together, and that's pretty smart. And that's where you throw your egos out the window because every organization sometimes goes, I don't need any help. But y'all don't do that.
We all need
y'all
help.
Reach out and get the help, and it gives you double power or triple power. And that's what it's all about.
Well, we're combining our resources. You know, they have certain things that we do not. We have certain things that they do not, and we put them together. But I never really thought about it. It's just a natural progression, but we do check our egos at the door. It doesn't have to be, well, I did this. We collectively do it together, and it's a success whenever we show up someplace.
When we played sports, they had a plaque over the gym that said, there's no I in the word team.
Amen.
And that's the way you got to look at it.
I say that quite often.
There you go.
Well, we also have the same value system. We have the same, we share the same interests concerning Terrebonne Parish. Tourism is economic development, and it's a huge part of economic development in Terrebonne Parish. Visitor spending was over 110 million in 2022. Prior to COVID, 2019, it was 207 million. So we're expecting to see those numbers steadily increase. We still haven't gotten the numbers from 2023. That's coming out in the middle of the year. But it's economic development. Tourism is a huge driver. We have the same shared interests. We want to see businesses come to Terrebonne Parish. We want to see it be a beautiful place to work and live and play as well.
So, Melissa, do you just sit up at night just thinking of things to bring people? I know Cohen stays up at night thinking of different things, but now, look, if you tell me no, I'm a worry, okay?
No, it's true. I do. And a lot of it comes from my father. My father loved to travel, so he brought us everywhere. From the time I was 4 years old, I hadn't flown until I was 33. But I had been to almost every state in the country because my dad drove us everywhere. So I love travel. It's ingrained in my soul. And yes, I do spend a lot of sleepless nights thinking about things like that. Yeah.
We're gonna talk definitely about the Crawfish Trail in a second, but I'm going to say, no idea is bad. I remember when I came out with The Beat years ago, the police show, and everybody said, syndicate that. There's people all over the country that want to watch that. I go, it's about the Houma Police and the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Department. Who's going to want to watch that?
Everybody.
So I didn't. And then Cops came out 2 years later. Boom.
Yeah.
My brother
Wow.
was hunting alligators with Dan Davis. Somebody said, syndicate that. I'm going, no. Boom, swamp people. So the next time somebody says syndicated, I'm syndicating.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is, what is everyday occurrences to us? Everybody else is coming in town to see the herons and the alligators
That's
and all,
right.
and we go home and see them all the time. So
Take it for granted.
they want to come in and see that, don't
That's
they?
right. True. We take it for granted, but the beautiful things we see every day, we're just so used to it. I grew up down the bayou. My father always said, one day you're gonna realize how important this what you're seeing is, because it won't be here. And boy, was he right. And people from north, they want to come down and see our landscape because it's absolutely gorgeous. We're just so used to seeing it every day, we take it for granted.
And we're going to get into that trail map in a second, but Cohen, I'm shocked at the number she was telling me a while ago. For that kind of money to come through this parish is incredible. We'd be crazy not to try to get people here, huh?
Oh, absolutely. You know, even from a personal standpoint, Morton, I've always been so proud to bring people, relatives, people I worked with around the world. I wanted to show them some of our hospitality. I wanted to bring them to where I'm from and share this little piece of heaven with them because I'm so very proud. And when I meet somebody who is not from here, and I don't know why I do it, but I ask them, so where are you from? What brought you here? How are the people treating you? Were you treated well? Were you received well? You know, and it's surprising that most people, they say yes. I love the culture. I love the people. They're so friendly. And it doesn't matter if they're from anywhere in the United States or somewhere else in the world. They love our culture and they love coming here. And that does my heart a lot of good.
Yeah, y'all both in the business of bringing people in, so that's a good thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our first break. We're going to come back. We're going to elaborate a little more on this, and we're going to talk about the Crawfish Trail. We've got a map and everything. My dad always said the crawfish is the bravest creature on the planet. I said, why is that, Dad? He said, put it on a railroad track, and when the train's coming, always does this until he gets, run over by the train. All right, we'll be right back. Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. All right, we are back to TEDA Time. I'm Martin Falls, joined by Cohen Guidry. He's the Executive Director of the Terrebonne Economic Development Association. Does a great job, always promoting. I see him all the time. He is always promoting Terrebonne, and that is certainly a good thing. Miss Melissa DeRocha, and she is with, of course, Director of Development and Marketing for Explore Houma. Equally, they do a great job, so we appreciate both of you being here. And I want to talk about this Crawfish Trail map. Never in my 40 years of being on HTV did I think we'd have a Crawfish Trail map.
Sure.
But we have one.
We do.
That's cool.
So the Crawfish Trail is our effort to promote culinary tourism in Terrebonne Parish. This is how we showcase our product. We're incredibly blessed to have Gulf to table seafood. So the Crawfish Trail has 43 stops from your mom and pop restaurants to your seafood houses to your boil houses, live seafood, fresh catch, boiled seafood. We wanted to create a trail that could promote and showcase the culinary product we have in Terrebonne Parish. We think it's second to none. It rivals any place. So people actually travel to find places to eat, find, things to do that way. So this is our Crawfish Trail map. You successfully complete the trail by visiting any of the places on the trail and collecting a receipt. 5 receipts. You can download the receipts on crawfishtrail.com, or you can come in and bring them to the visitor center and you'll get a t-shirt. Wow. And it's that simple.
So it becomes a little game.
Oh, it's like a scavenger hunt around food, right?
And you said something from the Gulf to the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
All those little catchphrases That's pretty cool.
Sure.
I bet people leave with that kind of stuff and they go, I mean, when y'all say them all the time, I'm always going, yeah, that was pretty catchy.
Yeah.
But it's so true and it's so fresh when you're
That's right.
talking about seafood.
That's right.
People want fresh seafood.
And you can get it here in spades.
Yeah, they don't want that stale stuff
No.
that's been on the truck for 10 days, you know? So, Cohen, when you first heard of the Crawfish Trail map, it's the kind of things that coexist with what you're trying to do, and the mingling works pretty good.
It does. I actually learned about it last year when I went through the Leadership Terrebonne on our tourism and economic development day. We got to go and see some of the different places and the little nuggets that are hidden in this parish and some of the things. We got to be tourists in our own town.
Yeah.
And we just this year's class just celebrated that same thing this past week. So it was really interesting to find out of all the hidden gems, because I've been a resident here all my life and I didn't know about it. And I think a lot of people are that way, and that's part of why that class is part of it. Is you get to go spend the day and see things that you didn't know.
The funny thing is, back in the day when we were filming Nutria Man, Annie Miller had a swamp tour. So I got the film crew. We took Annie Miller's boat. I said, we're going to see alligators, crawfish, everything. We load up, and she goes, y'all want to see alligators? Well, absolutely. We want to film them for the movie. So she gets that chicken out and hits it on the side of the boat and starts hollering, Mike Lee, baby. She goes, Mike Lee, baby. So 3 alligators start swimming to the boat. My cameraman looks at me and goes, they know their name. I said, no. They know the chicken hitting on the side of the boat. There's only 3 alligators in this lake. But she had them convinced that they knew their name. That's all part of the marketing, right?
It worked.
And that was worldwide.
Yes.
People came from all over.
That's right.
And like Cohen said, we don't even know it's in our backyard a lot of times. People need to go see what's in the backyard.
Yep.
They'd be shocked. What else do they have unique in this area?
Well, there's always something to do. We're about to launch our new visitor's guide, which you can actually download on explorehouma.com, or you can come to the Visit Center and pick up. And you'll see exactly what there is to do. We have just launched a new Bayou Country fishing trail, which is going to highlight fishing spots in Terrebonne Parish. I mean, you know as well as I know, you don't have to be a world-class angler to be successful and catch fish in Terrebonne Parish. And we've never really marketed that, I think, properly. If you have a boat, great. You can come here and fish. If you have no boat, no problem.
Well, I'm not a world-class angler, and I'm not successful. But it's just the fun going out there, right?
Yeah,
Cohen?
like Pointe-au-Chien, too. You can fish in Pointe-au-Chien. So now we have this trail set up, and a visitor can look at the different spots. They can go crabbing and crab from a chair with a line. I mean,
that
there's
amazes
nowhere-
people.
Yeah.
When you take them crabbing and
That's right.
they bring them in the boat, you would think they're 5 years old. And they're 60 and 70, but they've never experienced that.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing. And Cohen, so when y'all met by chance?
No, not at all.
Y'all knew each other before?
No, we did not. I met Melissa on my first day of Leadership Terrebonne.
Okay.
And we just kind of hit it off and then realized, okay, we're going to be working together. And I think that the more we talk, even in the lobby before coming on the show, we're sitting there talking and comparing different stories. And a lot of times, we both spent time in West Africa. We both spent time in South America. And we got those commonalities in place, and we just become more and more and more acquainted and more things in common. So,
But neither one of y'all's ever met a stranger, so I imagine it flowed pretty well.
No Cajun has ever met a stranger.
but real quick, I gave this analogy the other day. We hear every day, oh, there's nothing to do in this town. And people, some of us get really, really perturbed at that. But think about when you're kids, you just get back from the grocery store, you fill up the pantry and the icebox, and the kid goes to the pantry. There's nothing to eat in this house. That's not true.
Right.
I mean, you just got to open your eyes and you got to look.
You got to change the brain waves.
Right.
You got to make them quit saying it so they, because they're like parrots. People are like parrots too. They just repeat what they hear. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Very important information right here on TEDA Time.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by
Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. All right, we are back with Cohen Guidry and Melissa DeRocher, and we're having a good conversation about all kind of stuff Terrebonne Parish was. And, you know, we talk about all kind of things. Let's start with litter, because I know litter's been a big thing for y'all. And you could drive around, and what really excites me is I see people sometimes policing the sides of the roads. And occasionally I ask them, who told you how to do this? What organization you're in? We're not. We just want our town to be beautiful. There are a lot of people like that, but I'm sure it's hard to keep up.
And you got a lot of people that are exact opposite. They think the world's their garbage can and it's somebody else's responsibility to come along and clean up after them.
Doesn't that
And I'm
just
sorry, I'm a little
irritate you?
passionate.
Doesn't that just
I'm a little
irritate
passionate
you?
about that. You know, the property off the road in front of my house is my responsibility.
Right.
Of course, it's somebody, a state right away or what have you. I don't want trash up there.
Yeah.
I go and clean that. And if somebody hits my garbage can and spills trash everywhere, I'm responsible to go and clean that. But
Look, and it happens. After Ida, we all had the trailers. And just the other day, I was still like I made 170 trips to the local parish dump. But the other day, we put some stuff in there. We didn't put the tarp over it. We down old 90, and it flies out. So my crew goes, "What you doing?" I said, "We're turning around, and we're going to pick it up."
Absolutely.
And that's what we did. And if your stuff flies out your truck, pull over, pick it up. It's not hard. People are going to make mistakes. But I also want to learn, we're going to talk about fishing spots, because when we used to do the fishing show with my brother, Mike Falson, he'd give out the fishing spots. The one who was there milking that spot for about a week didn't like the fact that we were giving it away, but everybody else loved it. So y'all in a unique position. Fishing spots. Let's talk about that.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about litter and talking about keeping things beautiful, fishing spots are important, right? Especially if we're promoting these to visitors and we want people to come and fish in our parish, we have to care about what they see. Some of the treasures, even on Bayou Sally Road, Pointe-aux-Champs, down the Bayou Cocodrie, what we've seen even before Ida. Ida created a trash problem, but we had the trash problem prior to Ida. We need to care enough to keep these places beautiful and clean. And when we talk about beautification, I'm not just talking about cutting grass. I'm talking about no trash, no stoves and rusty items and mattresses. We have to keep those places clean. We're presenting to other people, but also for our own sake. I want to live in a beautiful place. I want to invite people to a beautiful place, but we have to care. We have to do it as well. It's not always on government. It's public-private partnerships. It's things we can do together, and putting all of our resources together. We'd like to see all of these places maybe be designated spots declared by our parish as a fishing spot, where we can put up signage and maybe just to start enforce a sense of pride so we can claim these places and keep them clean.
You know, I saw a special the other night where the whales that were beaching themselves and died, they looked in their stomachs, they had a lot of plastic. So the plastic,
Made them
they
sick.
think, is what's affecting a lot of these things. So when somebody, they might not think it's a big deal to throw a bottled water when it's empty over. But if everybody's thinking that way, say in Houma, and you got thousands of people doing it, it adds up, huh, Cohen?
yes, sir.
So we got to reprogram people.
Well, they've got to have a sense of pride. You know, the world's not their garbage can.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's that simple.
And that's the Marine in you coming out like that.
Army, excuse me. Thank you.
Army. That's true. That's for the sheriff. You always do that with the sheriff. You know, he's going to love that faux pas.
Oh yeah. No, we always do. We have a lot of fun with it. But no, it is. Some people, you got to have pride in what you do. And if you don't have enough pride to keep your own yard or your own house straight, that's on you. But rest of the world's not your garbage can. It's not somebody else's responsibility to come pick it up. But you drive around, you see where people, they're driving down the road, it's dark, nobody else is around. and they throw it out of their vehicle. They empty their trailer, tires, and different things like that. And if more people would live by the adage of behave like somebody's always watching, we could use that in a lot of different contexts.
That's very true. Melissa, I want to turn to you, the Geo Tour relaunch.
Yes. So we are the only official licensed Geo Tour in the state of Louisiana. There's plenty nationwide, and we take that very seriously. It's an honor to have that designation. And our Geo Tour was destroyed by Ida. We had about 40 stops on the trail. We've relaunched, recached all of those locations. We have about 41 stops. It's kind of like an adult scavenger hunt. Yeah. Cohen would say it's what, better than Pokemon?
Pokemon for adults.
Pokemon for adults. There you go. And all of these caches are throughout Terrebonne Parish.
Yeah.
You download an app. You can find the geo coordinates for each location. And once you get there, you'll find like an interesting item. They have codes on them. You put those codes in the app, and then you can come and collect a commemorative coin from the visitor center.
You know, years past, real quick, got a minute left, we used to bury keys to tractors from Houma tractor, and we'd have scavenger hunts. So if people find a location and dug up the little box with the key, they got a big tractor from Houma tractor. So those things are all fun. It wasn't the kids looking for the stuff. The adults they were tearing everything up to try to find it. So I want to thank y'all for what y'all do. Without y'all in the community, it would sort of be boring. So we appreciate what y'all are doing. And y'all are on the right path. And Cohen and Melissa, thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin. It's always a pleasure to come and spend time with you. And thank you for always promoting us and helping us.
All right, there you have it. Cohen and Melissa, moving Terrebonne Parish forward. We love it. And we thank you, the audience, for tuning in right here on TEDA Time. And we'll see you again on the next episode. Take care.